We've broken this into sections. The first one we're going to talk about is melting ice caps and glaciers and how this equals the seas rising. As we mentioned, we're creating too much carbon dioxide, causing our atmosphere and oceans to heat up. That extra heat is actually melting our ice caps and glaciers. According to NASA satellite photos, roughly 1/3 of our ice caps have melted since around 1980. This is not good. When we melt too much of our ice caps, the oceans rise, and this will make a mess of our coastal cities. And know that most of our major cities are on the coasts. It'll be like a disaster movie or what we just saw with Hurricane Sandy. Also, the water that comes from glacial runoff supplies water to hundreds of millions of people. If we permanently melt these glaciers, there goes their water supply. Roughly 35 to 40% of the population of the world rely on glacial runoff for a significant part of their water supply. Now let's talk about crazy weather and droughts. The other tricky thing to understand is that this slight increase in temperature makes our weather more erratic and unpredictable. So we have these crazy big storms like we've already been seeing, colder cold weather, hotter hot weather, and really bad droughts. Droughts mess with our ability to grow food. Yes, food, that yummy stuff you eat every day. We're already having major drought problems, by the way. And also you have to remember, erratic and unpredictable mean just that. Weird weather will come at weird times of the year, and it'll become more difficult to predict what weather will happen and when. This is not a good thing. Let's talk about our oceans. Now hang in tight because this is actually the kind of really scary part, but then we get into the fix it and save you money and make you healthier part, so please stay with us. Much of this excessive carbon dioxide gets absorbed into our oceans and makes the oceans more acidic. This kind of acidity burns and kills the coral reefs and kills the shellfishes and very small but very important life forms. Coral reefs and these small life forms are the bottom of the food chain in the ocean, so if you fry them with acidity, the bigger fish don't have food. In short, we're killing off our fish-flavored food supply, and that's not good. Fish is a major part of the world's food supply. We're also doing this with massive overfishing, but that's another story for another chapter. Now let's talk about oxygen. As we mentioned, acidity also kills planktons. Well, who cares about planktons? Well, if you breathe oxygen, you care because phytoplankton create around 2/3 of our oxygen. It's estimated that we're killing off roughly 1% of our little phytoplankton friends a year. Between that and rapid deforestation, which is the other major contributor to our oxygen supply, we're wiping out our oxygen supply. This is not good. This is not smart. In the last 200 to 250 years, we've increased the acidity of the oceans roughly 30%. Now, if you're thinking, yikes, then you're understanding this information correctly. How long do we have? As of roughly July of 2013, it's estimated that we have somewhere around 18 to 30 months to turn this around. We're getting close to what is called the tipping point. If we melt off too much more of our ice caps and glaciers, then what's under the ice, being land and water, absorbs more heat instead of reflecting it back out into space. It makes the problem worse and speeds up the warming. Check under the I Want to Know More section below, and you'll see more details of how this works. We're already seeing some negative effects of global warming, but we can do a lot to reduce it getting worse. We need to act now. If not, over the next 5 to 60 years, maybe a bit longer, things will unfold and it won't be pretty. So congrats, you've made it through the unfun, yucky part, now the fun part. Look below on our website, we have a very simple list of things you can do that'll make you healthier, save you money, and help solve this critical problem. Do we need to get our politicians on the right track? Absolutely. And we have a section for that as well. It's much easier than you think.